Okay. Um, as always, the purpose of me making videos is to continuously show as a target individuals an individual who is a target individual with not only gang stalking and the typical noise campaign as I'm speaking about it right now. This perp contracted to do this noise campaign to kind of like make me subscribe to the manipulation, because I am also a target individual who is being this manipulated by this V2K and synthetic telepathy, meaning that they have the ability to just overlay my thoughts and manipulate my brain and make me react in ways that would not happen naturally. Um, and for me, it's been a lot of disturbing pedophilia type of tormenting, meaning they force me to get stimulations that I would not have naturally. And with that being said, these things that they do is something they've done to others. It's bizarre that your logic, your brain, the way they create this logic and rationality, they want you to accept these manipulations. And this is why somebody's in the hallways right now making noise campaign. I can hear their dogs being having like dog barking and trying to kind of rile me, like make me anxious, because I see things for what they are. I understand that this is a lot of psychological manipulations and torment to get you to be accepting of this persona they've created. They force me to get disturbing thoughts and these things that you cannot, like, it's just foul. And those thoughts are typical. And please understand that I've completely understood that this program is run by these governmental entities and they contract this trash. I call them trash. They try to dehumanize us target individuals, but they truly are the trash. And for me, reality have been exposed to the point where it humiliate them while they're gonna have to torture me to humiliate me. These people are so humiliated. Like the life, these people, the embarrassment that they have to maintain in order to gaslight me into accepting these things is things that you can never understand. I'm just thankful, regardless of the horrible things I'm going to go through, that I didn't have to live a life where I had to make myself such a clown in order to gaslight somebody into accepting this. And this is why they tend to use childlike individuals. I've noticed them being very childlike. Either some of them are actually children, others are very young but adults, others are just like very smart people but dumb themselves and intern not very smart, sorry, just regular logical individuals that dumb themselves down and become childlike individuals and become into a level of spectralism, like they become very spectrum like individuals, meaning that they kind of retard themselves to make you accept these things, right? And it's very gimmicky, and it's also obvious brainwashing ways, the repetitions and the ways they try to play with you. And then they really try to make you be doubtful of the manipulation they make you experience. And because of synthetic telepathy, your brain is just hacked into logicalness. They try to humiliate you and make you feel uncomfortable in so many ways. But let me just start with an example. I can recognize every time they force me to get a sensation that is not natural. And usually they do this disturbing sensation toward children. And sometimes they do this toward non-children, adults. And they do this in order for you to be like, oh, you see, you experience that this is real. So when we do that, there is real too, right? Try to create a match by creating their own stimulations on both ends to make you be acceptive of this. It's just like continuously, like psychologically try to break you down. And you recognize what they do. And sometimes they just also try to bring up some random things to make you believe that, you see, you never, like, you didn't recognize that. For example, and I'm going to say this thing is just such a kind of humiliating things in a sense for them, but try to use that as like validation. They make me think, oh, but when you've been with this race of women, you've noticed that their armpits smell like this versus this, like things like that. Regardless if it's true or not, it doesn't faze me because I don't care about that. But they try to be like, you see, but you never. It's like, I don't care about this thing. I don't care if this person smell like this versus this. Like that never stopped me. If true or not, I don't care about that. But they try to bring that up And it's like, you see that? That's proof. You think black people are like this. And I'm black, so it's like, okay, I don't care. But for me, is if that's true or not, well, I don't care about that. It will never stop me. Because either way, if I'm a black woman who I find beautiful and attractive and fine, I'll be with her. I don't care the armpit, whatever, smell this or this, or smell smell this way or smell another way. It doesn't phase me. And if I've been with a white woman who's armpit, like, I don't care about these things. But they try to be like, hey, see, you notice this thing, so you see that's proof. Like, I don't. So do you think that's gonna make me subscribe to these false manipulations you make me have? They try to bring up things that try to humiliate you, then do the manipulations that I know is falsified. 2 seconds ago, I was watching this thing. It's about a game where they're supposed to guess if this person is sexual orientation. And it was this young adult, 20-some-year-old young woman, very beautiful woman, young woman, but because she's in her mid-20s or so, they forced me to get a sensation. Now, very beautiful, right? But I'm recognizing, they give me this weird sensation. They like to aim it toward children or people who are very young, who borderline barely adult or whatever. I'm feeling these fake stimulations. I recognize it. And I'm like, it's because they're trying to be like, you see how you felt about her? Because this is a beautiful young woman, but I will not feel that sensation. I'm feeling this sensation that they do that toward children. And the reason why they do this is they say, we matched it. It's like they create their own, like, like match where they get you to react a certain way on obvious manipulation, and then toward women or some sort of young woman, and make me like, you see. Sometimes they do that to like really like, a woman that you look at is like, okay, I understand it's somebody I could look at in this way, but I feel the fake stimulations. I feel the sensations that falsifies it. You recognize it. You recognize when they make you have the experience that is not natural, regardless of who they aim it toward. And for me, I recognize it immediately. I was like, I'm feeling the nasty, the false things. But they try to be like, no, we mapped it. You see, we matched it. It is a psychological manipulation to try to get you to be subscriptive to this. And then you hear these people making noise campaign and try to do on. And it's like, wow. Try to like make you be subscriptive. So they have these different random things that makes no sense to even try to correlate. And then they do this manipulation where they force you to experience something towards somebody who, it's a beautiful young woman who, people find her in this, good looking. But you're forcing me to get this fake sensation, which you have applied toward children to torment me. And so now I'm recognizing, you're just forcing me to feel this way so you can be like, you see. And on top of that, she's like a 20-some-year-old. And so they're like, you see, that. No, you are forcing me to get this sensation. But she's definitely a beautiful young woman. These people, it's delusional. And they're like, no, you see, no, you are forcing me to get a sensation that is not natural. This young woman is definitely a beautiful young woman. But it's being forced to get sensation. And most likely it's because she's like early 20s or so. Or mid-20s, sorry, like 25 or so. And I'm like, now you're forcing me to do that. To get this reaction. But this is a beautiful 25-year-old woman. But you're getting me to get this sensation that's falsified. And that's the things they do. It's like they want to start creating these like fake matches by creating sensation on extremes, and then on some less extreme or some even actual adults. And try to start making you reason in this retardation. You see the early stage, like the first thing that I was saying, to try to make me subscriptive of the manipulation. It's like, no, you think the armpits of, let me just repeat it. You think that black woman's armpit smells like that. Like, what the hell? What does that have to do with anything? It's like, you see, we exposed you. And it's like, so these pedophilia things we do to you, it's you. Do you understand how retarded they're pushing us target individuals to become? They try to find ways to these things to try to make you feel humiliated about things that just makes no sense. And make you try to be like, oh, you see, but like, remember that black woman, she smelled like this, and that white woman didn't smell there, so it's like, I don't care about these things. You think it's gonna stop me from thinking about a black woman and being, like, try to find ways to just not embarrass me, just try to think that this is gonna make me feel embarrassed. And on top of that, that's not true. There's white woman that can smell like, and there's black woman that can smell like, whatever. Like, but they try to create these things to try to make you accepting of the obvious manipulation that you are experiencing and that you recognize. And bringing up things that are just random and be like, you see how you think this way, and that's like, what does that have to do with the pedophilia things you forced me to experience? You understand? To try to get you to accept, like, no, but this thing that you experience, and these dialogues are all via V2K and synthetic telepathy, where it's like, no, this is proof that you never thought that like this, because this thing just never mattered to me. And this pedophilia things is what you're making me experience. This delusional trash. And try to be like, no, that's validation that what we're doing to you is natural, is you. You understand? And I heard people making noise campaign try to make me feel accepting of this. The nasty part is then they try to like insult you. It's like, you're just a bug. I'm like, this bug that you're calling a bug, thankfully, never had to work in a program where you have to make yourself this retarded. Did you hear what kind of logic you were trying to make me have? This is the kind of stupid, like, you have to push this retardation. And of course, I understand the technology. You can't fight this technology. It's going to overlay these ways of thinking and try to make me feel nervous as if this was a validation to the manipulations, which are the pedophilia type of tormenting, to try to make you feel uncomfortable. Because that shows that, these are things that you didn't want to expect. Like, it's stupidity. When you've been validated by so many ways, and of course, this is retardation. That's what they use childlike individuals, or people who turn themselves into some retards. Target individual understand that the people calling you bugs are the people who are the trash. For me, in my case at least, they can't even say a pedophile's name like Rolly Moore. So if I'm a bug, I'd rather be a bug and die like a bug like this than being a god like them, who have to do these humiliating things to themselves and try to degrade people in this disturbing pedophilia ways they renown to be degrading people. Try to force you to accept things that are manipulated and have to dumb themselves down in order for you to be accepting of these things, which it's not going to happen. The pedophilia type of torture has even been mentioned by others. This is done so systematically that almost all target individuals are forced to experience these disgusting ways of imaginations. And because your brain is being ravished and manipulated, now they try to really box in these retardations. So death comes to all of us, but I'm so thankful that I didn't have to live my life doing this trash that I do. And I'm thankful that I was able to say what I need to say before the day comes when I can't. And express these logics that they try to make me experience. Well, bringing up whatever and just like, no, but I remember what you did as a kid. It's like, stupidity. You remember that target individuals also testify about the exact same things you do to us. Remember the obvious correlation? So go ahead, do your repetitions, do your manipulations, and keep thinking that you're a god when you're just a trash in a program that's run by entities such as the Department of Defense and the CIA and the DARPA filled with pedophiles. And while you can even say the name of a pedophile and try to create these retardations of logic to make me subscribe to the pedophilia type of torture that you're renowned to be doing to others. So stay strong, because they're going to try to push you into insanity.